DreamHack Open is brought to you by Chipotle, Corsair, Monster Energy, Nice Cactus, AT&T, and GGBet.
We already have 5 best of ones in our bellies, but Atlanta, we got room for just one more. Last series of the day, going to be CR4ZY versus INTZ, and let's actually talk about these squads and what we saw of them. I feel like we kind of saw pretty different stories out of these two squads when they actually did play. My name's Rich, I'm going to be your host. I'm joined by Potter and Pimp. Pimp, what did we actually see on the side of CR4ZY when they played?
Yeah, it was a little bit lackluster. They were in a position going up against Chaos where I felt that they probably should have lost that game. I think Chaos was playing a little bit better, but some heroics out of the individuals from the guys made it work out. You know, Esperanto in particular had some great rounds on the train T side, made sure they stayed inside that game. So CR4ZY, they right now, you know, we talked to Neil as well after the game. They have a lot of skill, they have a lot of potential. He still believes that they are, you know, favorites for the tournament. He still believes they could go all the way, but we gotta probably admit that the fact that they're playing with a stand-in in form of Thomas right now is a bit of a problem for them. And
we're gonna be checking in on that throughout the entirety of the tournament, right? I think there were so many different people as far as analysts and even casters are concerned that said, hey, maybe it's just going to be an upgrade for this tournament based off their play style, based off of the frag potential coming in from the stand-in. But what we actually have seen so far maybe hasn't led us to believe that. They have a little bit of time potentially to get ready, but when we look at their opponents, it seems like they had a different story in their first match of the day.
They definitely did. We saw INTZ coming out swinging on that Mirage. Now, I think the storyline of today has been teams have not been able to close out the matches that they should be closing out. INTZ once again had a very dominant first half, and in that second half, it started getting a little bit spicy for them, but they were able to close it out 16-10, so that definitely bodes well for INTZ.
We can actually take a peek at everything that has happened in Group B. We're talking about it a little bit, but now you can see it right in front of your faces. To lead up to this matchup, we had those two best of ones, the CR4ZY versus Chaos game. It really did look for quite some time like we were going to have an upset nice and early in the day there. It looked like Chaos might be able to take it, but ultimately CR4ZY has made it to this matchup. And now I do want to ask, going into this, do we almost feel a momentum shift in a certain way, like CR4ZY coming off of their Rotterdam performance obviously looked great, but all of a sudden we get here now, does it feel different?
It does feel different, and I think a big part of that is the circumstances Thomas was being brought into this tournament. He only knew a few hours before he had to fly out for the tournament itself, right? I was under the impression they knew for quite some time, so maybe they've had a little bit of practice. That's not the case at all. As Neil said, they literally have had none practice whatsoever. They had to tell him where he was supposed to play, what the spots was called within their lineup, and all that kind of stuff just minutes before the game, so definitely not optimal for them. And I think looking at INTZ right now, we talked about them having a lot of potential. We haven't really seen it as of late, but that first game, that gave me hope that INTZ is here to play. And as Yel said as well in the winner's interview, we are here to win the entire thing. And a Brazilian team, you know, who's hungry, that's a scary prospect.
Yeah, I think that really is important to look back to both of the interviews. And if you didn't get an opportunity to see them, the one with Neil put a lot of light onto this stand-up situation, Potter. And this is a team, though, when we hear that, do you think that they do have a lot of potential to heat up throughout the tournament as they get a little bit more practice with each other throughout the weekend?
Absolutely. And one thing I want to mention with both of these teams, they have the most animated coaches sitting behind them. Neil on the side of CR4ZY and INTZ's coach, both of these guys get really into these matches. So I'm hoping to see them yelling and screaming and getting really hyped for this match.
All right, taking a look at CR4ZY and their lineup here. Esperanto is one of the first players that you were talking about. Pip, is there anyone else that we need to be discussing before we jump into this game?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Chips as well. A guy we don't give a lot of credit, even though that he does deserve it, is Otto. As it also says on your screen right here, he's the highest rated player within the lineup, so that justifies that itself. The problem with him is, as we always talk about, it seems like here on the desk, is the inconsistency coming out of him. When he's good, he's one of the best AWP players and potentially the best AWP player in Finland together with Alu, no doubt about it. But he has so much inconsistency in the way he plays. One game he's on form, one game he's not, and that's a problem for them because CR4ZY is in the lack of some stability around this lineup. So a bit of a shame that the guy can't play hearts out every single game, but when he does, that's a guy that can take over the entire server.
For sure, and we got to talk a little bit about Esperanto. You mentioned it earlier, Jacob, but Esperanto has been opping as well. We saw him busting it out on that train yard. And in Rotterdam, if I think back, it was mainly Ships and Otto that was dual opping, dual wielding those ops. We spoke with Neil, and he said Ships is a superstar that they're trying to invest all their resources into. They're going to give him the AWP if he wants. They're going to give him the rifles if he wants. But today, we saw in their opening match, it was mainly Esperanto and Otto opping. So I'm curious to see if going into the second match, they keep switching it up, or if it's going to be mainly Esperanto. Is it going to be Ships? I don't know.
Do you think that some of that decision is coming based off of their circumstances with actually having the stand-in?
It could be the case. It also could just be the map that is the circumstance, so to speak, that Esperanto is playing a position where the orb is utilized better by him having it in his hands. So it's a very interesting point, and I agree with you. I think Ships is the future of this lineup together with Esperanto. So how do you deal with that? Like, which one do you actually cater to? We know that Esperanto have had some, not necessarily mental issues, but some problems with adjusting to the professional scene of Counter-Strike. So if he's all of a sudden feel left out once again, as he was in periods of time when Nexa and Hunter was on the lineup, that could be a bit of a problem for Neil, the coach, to figure out how exactly to spin that off.
Yeah, and I think it's also important here to think about just how clear the favorites seemed when we did arrive to this tournament. Heroic and Crazy were the two teams that everybody was talking about. We thought that we were going to see them go head-to-head, potentially even in the grand final. And now when we're actually getting to this moment, this matchup looks a lot closer than I think we would have expected, just based off of both sides and how they played. Let's talk about the team that looked phenomenal in their first game of the day over on the side of INTZ.
Yeah, I mean, the player that I want to speak about the most is going to be Boltz. I mentioned it in their opening matchup that Boltz is that rock. He's that foundation that all of his teammates can kind of rally behind and understand that no matter what, Boltz is going to hold his position. He's going to be in the most optimal position for me to be able to capitalize on. So I think all of his teammates kind of understand that. And, you know, we spoke with Yell and he said, we put Boltz in all his comfortable positions. We didn't try to make anything fancy. We made sure Boltz was comfortable so that he can play to his strengths and not have to adjust too much. And then they moved Xand around. Xand's been a part of this lineup for a very long time, so he understands what kind of responsibilities his mates expect of him on different parts of the map. So I think it was an intelligent move coming out of INTZ, and they definitely showed up on that Mirage, being able to utilize everyone, especially towards that A bomb site.
Do you think playing around a player like Bolt can lead to strategies that have enough depth to be able to take this entire tournament?
I think so. I think Boltz is going to be a vital part of this lineup, and I'm happy to hear Yell saying that they're accommodating him, right? They're trying to make him feel comfortable, and I think that's a good move, to be honest. I think he is the most experienced, and he has the highest peak within this lineup together with Cello, so it would make no sense if they just put him in some uncomfortable roles where he couldn't really perform up to the level that we know him to be. I said it before as well. I think Boltz at a certain point within his career when he was playing for, I think it was Immortals back then, he was one of the best utility players in the world. He was so good at just sitting at, I remember it was A bomb side on Cash, you know, he was just sitting in a corner and he would always get 1 or 2 kills, you know, every single time. He was rock solid and he was always good for 2, and that's, you know, a term we sometimes use, that when you have a player that is always good for 2, you better make sure to put him in position where he gets to, simple as it is.
Okay, when we talk about consistency with this team as well, do you think this is a team, Potter, that has the potential to thrive off of momentum here?
Momentum indeed. As I mentioned, the coach gets really hyped up. He gets really hyped behind his players. So they're certainly known for being a momentum team. As far as being a consistent team, that's definitely a hurdle that they have not crossed quite yet as a lineup. But as I mentioned again, with the changes that they didn't intentionally make, but so far that this is the situation they're in, I think it still bodes well for them.
Okay, this is all stuff that we need to be chewing on before we actually do get to check out those vetoes and see where this best of 1 is going to take place. And then we get to do the exciting business of making our predictions on the desk, but we're going to throw you into the fire first here. You vote right now in the chat using the hashtag with each of the team's names. Let us know who you think is going to take it before we make the predictions. And so far, I'm pretty sure Twitch chat's been correct 100% of the time.
Yeah, you love Twitch chat, don't you?
I do. I definitely do. Twitch chat is much nicer to me than you are.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
doesn't take a lot though.
You made fun of me for not having glasses earlier.
Yeah? You didn't do something about that?
Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you, babe.
Ah, that's good. That's good.
Now we're going to have to see, though, what the map actually is when we do get to check out
Well,
the
I think I know what the map is. I have I don't know, it's just a feeling that it's going to be Train. I don't know why that is, but I think I saw a glimpse of Train being played on one of the players' screens, so could be Train.
You're just a savant,
Yeah,
Jacob.
you probably have to look up that, man.
I actually can't see the vetoes at all, so putting on my boomer spectacles here to try to take a gander.
I'm just curious to see who removed Mirage, right? Who was not willing to play Mirage? That was INTZ, there we go. Maybe they are a little bit scared of Crazy's Mirage, because we know that's very, very strong for them. Also, it could be the case that they know that when they were playing, Crazy was sitting there and watching them, so everything they did on Mirage, Crazy would have known. Okay,
now it's the moment of truth. It's time to make our predictions here. I'm going to start with you, Potter.
Of God.
Oh boy, you know, I think Crazy are looking, I think this is a very pivotal matchup for both of these teams. They both really need to win. I'm gonna go with INTZ though. I think they were watching Crazy kind of struggle a little bit on that train leading up to this matchup. So I'm gonna go with the Brazilians here.
You know what? I'm gonna follow up with INTZ as well. I'm very excited about the prospect of them being good again. Also, I hope that you do pick Crazy, so maybe one of us will have to wear nut glasses for the next segment.
No, my IQ actually went up by 5 the second I put the glasses on.
You do look like a school teacher.
Plus 5 IQ, hey?
Yeah. I don't know if you know about Einstein's theory of relativity, but that's actually quite a great deal based off of my relative IQ. So I'm going to go with the Brazilians as well here. And I'm quite confident in my choice. Actually, now, after I put these glasses on, I feel like if I watch Rick and Morty, I might finally laugh at the jokes.
Why are you confident in picking INTZ?
Well, to get into all of it, I would have to break down some series. We'd have to crunch the numbers indubitably and actually look at the trajectory. There's so many things I feel like you're not even taking into account right now, like the centrifugal force of even when it's this time of the year in this season. So, you know, with that, I'm just going to go to the casters, and I'm going to let your brain process it when we get our break, when we actually get to watch this matchup. Casters, what do you think about this one?
Wow.
They think very highly.
There we go.
I couldn't even see that the casters weren't on the screen. I'm going to be honest here.
I'm the odd one out now. I'm the only one not wearing glasses.
Like,
you've left me.
General relativity doesn't work like what you just described, just to put you even further down. So sorry for that.
I would have been on your side.
He doesn't laugh at the Rick and Morty jokes, this one here. Hey, he's not laughing at the Rick and Morty jokes. Well, what would lead dub? Let's go over to you.
That might be the worst throw of all time.
I'll take that. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I feel like I have to agree with some of the guys on the desk there saying that INTZ are probably the favorites. And I would bring it down to the fact that they have this stand-in coming in. If it was Prime Crazy, if it was Crazy in their form, as they were in Rotterdam, I would say that they were the favorites for sure. But having Thomas come in, not that Thomas is a bad player, but having any player come into a team and being a stand-in in a LAN tournament, that has to be a minus on that score sheet. So I would probably agree with INTZ here. But I think this could be close. Like if we have some of the players on this Crazy side like hitting their shots, we know Esperanto is insane on Mirage, but also on other maps.
Yeah.
We could have a close game.
Yeah, my framed picture, or my framed shirt, a picture would be weirder, shirt of Esperanto on my wall at home makes me think that Crazy are going to win this one, you know?
It's fair enough,
there's some bias in there. No, I think the one thing that you do have to talk about when it comes to this roster now is when it came to the previous roster, I think as a whole, obviously at this point as well, it was a better team. Like you had already formed stars, you had players who have now moved on to the likes of G2 and were doing very, very well. A lot of structure as well. I think Nexa was a great in-game leader. However, the one thing that did take a hit within this team is you didn't as consistently see top performances out from Esperanto. And I think that Chips is another player very similar to him. Like, they are just raw fragging potential, and I think it's going to be a very exciting matchup. And you know, we are going to be going right into Train right about now. It is going to be the Brazilians facing off against that European mix of Crazy, and we will see who's going to be going straight through to the playoff stage. And more interestingly, if the team who does go second throughout this group is going to be in even more trouble, because they're going to have to face Heroic.
That's not a nice prospect.
No, it is not.
We don't want that to happen, and just as we don't want that to happen, it's been a slight little technical bug there, but we'll get it ironed out, and then we can get back into the game. And there we go.
Straight away.
Perfect.
Straight away.
No worries. And we have the full sacrifice kit from Emmy, the in-game leader buying all.
He doesn't have a kit.
No, but the kit as in collection of tools.
He's got the nades. He's got the nades, yeah. So they don't actually have a defusal kit in this scenario. Look at the aggression that's already come out from Shiz as well. He's right out onto the site. May have been spotted by Thomas. Oh, to dicey battle and it'll actually be Otto to get the kill, but they're going to double back into this B side. The rotation came away, but that may not necessarily be a bad thing. This is one of the more retakeable sides in the game. The T side definitely need to try and get aggressive here, take some ground away from CR4ZY. But as mentioned, no kit, so they do have to get their move on. They need to get towards the site. Ships is the one just waiting around the Oro trainers. They are going to make that way forward. Already Esperanto, Thomas combined. Shello will at least be able to get one back, but it's left all onto Yell, and they have to smoke ready for the bomb. He's going to need a few lucky shots. He's going to need to hit them fairly quickly as well, because even without the kit, the defusel's coming in. Ships goes for the knife, but it doesn't matter. The bomb's been defused.
But yeah, one of the things that you also have to discuss in this lineup, and in this battle as Yell actually gets his third, is that firepower-wise, even though, of course, they have Emmy on the team, the former coach, and they have Thomas, the stand-in, firepower-wise, I would like highly rate CR4ZY above INTZ right now. Like, they're a better team individually, but INTZ have so much more going for them team-wise, because they are, first of all, not playing with a stand-in. Yes, Bolt is new, but that's still a very different situation. I feel like they have more structure in general, but individually, these players on CR4ZY side, they're so good. Double Creek buy up from the T's as they got the bomb down, but the first one has already gone down as Sand lost his duel.
Well, let's put it this way. If you're making like a rank S or Pug team,
yeah,
you're going to be looking to pick up these sort of players. Like, I'm going to pick Esperanto, I'm going to pick Ships. Like, those guys are nuts. Even still, though, an early trade, the rifle's still being retrieved by INTZ, so not necessarily in a bad situation right now. Emmy and Thomas also both tagged, so still definitely opportunities. And with a map like Train where you really can get bogged down, it's really a grind for those T rounds. You want to make sure you limit the economy of CR4ZY. You want to make sure they don't get the double orb setup that we saw earlier in the day, which was so impactful. Yell, he should win this duel easily. Like, Emmy only with an MP9 didn't really stand a chance at that range, but the wraparound is coming through the spawn, and Ships times that absolutely perfectly, and now the remaining players trying to wrap around are going to be in a little bit more trouble. Otto already spotting the battle and wins it and drops the bomb, and now leaves Bolts alone, but he's already managed to get the first pick. The second's not going to come, and CR4ZY, they're going to win versus that Krieg force buy, and maybe steal one or two for themselves.
I think they got 2 Kriegs. That's a very, very good start from the CT side. But then again, it is Train. We expect both teams to have around like 58% of their rounds on that CT side. So.
Did you say around 58%?
Yeah, it's not precise enough, but
normally you'd go down to
just like I would lecture Richard on general relativity in the vacuum of space, then we can also talk about like 58% not being close
58.231.
Yeah, now we're talking about go recite all the decimals in pi. Come on, just help me out here.
I've got 2.14. You can do the rest. Oh. There is the SG.
Yep.
Ships is someone as well, like, I feel like he just relishes that weapon. Like, he will just run and gun with it. I think giving it to him is probably worse than the majority of players you could have given it to.
He is disgustingly good with that weapon.
But there's going to be 4 up on the other side. Decent utility picked up for INTZ. Still a couple of SMGs in here.
Yeah,
as well
I love this from CR4ZY, because they look at their team money and say, okay, if we just have a bonus round here, even if we lose, we get a full buy next round. Yeah. Anyways, if 3 of our players buy up now and we lose, that means that we are in a terrible money situation for the next round. So, yeah, this is the correct choice from them, I have to say.
Well, and especially on a map like Train, there's definitely positions where you can use the MP9. We've already seen it happen once today with that aggression into Pop. And Emmy, in the meantime, he's still going to be peeking around that Ivy position. Ships with a nice, easy frag. You could see the temptation there for go back for more, but just going to make sure they keep that man advantage, and especially with the current weaponry situation, keeping the numbers is important.
Oh, for sure. Now pushing in towards T main, just clearing that angle. They're working with what they can, because INTZ have taken over control over towards the Ivy. Nice little boost position. Gonna get up on that jump. Spots towards Olaf. The CT Star coming in. She is holding from behind. 1-for-1 trade. Oh, and the MP9 from Thomas winning that duel.
Bolt's trying to rectify this situation, but I think they're in quite a bit of trouble here. However, 2 kills come back. 30 seconds left on the clock, so they still have time to play with, but the remaining players are the rifle players. It's the SMGs that have gone. Already Bolt's going to take a hefty tag. Ships being forced back, but the nade is actually enough to give him that extra kill. Now with only 15 seconds left, Yell has to not only retrieve the bomb, but he has to try and find his way onto the site and plant it. Luckily for him, there is a long rotation coming in, but Otto, well placed, and they'll get that first buy round onto the board.
And Neil is giving some words of encouragement in the freeze time. The other side of things, big communication coming through from the coach. Ready with the notes and everything. He's even got a color-coded sheet there, like that.
Oh, that's too prepared. Now you're trying too hard. But yeah, already early on, we're going to see a tactical pause.
I think actually, if I want to be really critical, I think that's what you just presented is the whole reason that the UK CS scene doesn't exist. Because trying too hard is not cool. And trying too hard in CS will get you...
That's always my favorite insult ever when someone writes in chat, "You try hard." It's like, yes, I want to win.
Why would I not try hard? But
although you then do have those one-way smoke super tryhards who are just like, oh, I've got this smoke.
Oh, you don't know one-way smokes for every map, Tom? Come on.
I have a life. No, that's not true.
You just play other games.
No. Well, a hero AK alongside some pistols. Of course, maximum loss bonus for INTZ, so don't even really need the bomb plant, but they're looking to try and at least make things a little bit more difficult for the side of Crazy. A couple of players at least with plenty of money. Ships and Otto between 8,000 and 9,000. Counter utility going to be expended as they attempt to run through it. Bomb already dropped, and Bolts now comes in a little bit late, but he will be able to get the trade. Shiz being spotted by Otto as well, and if they don't clear this position, it could be a real problem. Bolts finally gets taken out, and they still don't know that Otto's in this corner. A couple of players dropped, at least causing a bit of cost, and as mentioned, money-wise, it's not really a problem for the T's.
Yeah, and before this round, like Esperanto sitting on 30 ADR, not really like punching into this game, but we'll get 2 frags here. Very nice to see that even though Esperanto's not having the best start, the rest of the team can still carry it. See Otto on 6-1, see Thomas on 5-3, Ships on 9-1. Amy doesn't even need to get kills. He's on 0 kills, but they're leading 5-0, so they don't care. That doesn't matter.
Well, especially as well in the manner that Ships is just being able to rule the server at the moment.
No, he is just solo B right now.
And he's very aggressive with it as well. Just hiding around the edge of this smoke, trying to look over the top of it. Cello, I think, waiting to see if there's any further aggression. Throws out the Molotov, so Ships now knows that he's here and is going to win that battle just about. Counter utility thrown, but he'll be able to escape. And that's where they double up the defense. That's the moment they go, okay, we'll bring in another player now.
And also you can play Ships at any kind of position that you want. You can play him as the upper way, just holding the headshot angle. You can hold the angle on the side, just making sure that if they go past your crosshair, you get them done. You can even hold on the back of the oil train. There's so many different positions you can play with low HP where you can kind of gamble on the opposition not looking your way and getting a first free kill and then a duel for the second one. So very nicely done. Ships playing on the left side for now, as the T side are approaching this A hit, where Emmy will be in the front lines. Thomas will be the first one. Amy second.
Yeah, they're running out of time though. 25 seconds left on the clock, and the bomb is still just sat in main, and in fact it's even going to be dropped to the floor. Emmy gets onto the board, gets the second as well, and as Esperanto is back up, it leaves Yell just to save this AWP, and this round has been a complete no-show from INTZ, and they're in fact even going to be hunting a little bit. Oh, shot! Thomas is going to get that free kill. They don't even opt to pick up the AWP by the looks of it, and to be honest, I don't blame them. Nothing has gone wrong for Crazy so far.
I'm glad we don't do like real predictions on this desk, because right now I want to change mine.
Is it because you'd be worried that I would be the only one to probably guess this right, and that would have just been because I'm not going to choose anyone else anyway?
want to pull a Thorin and then like tweet one and then say the other one on broadcast. That's the ultimate move. Then you're always right in some regard.
Well, that's the thing. You can, like, all you do is just on the broadcast, just like give good arguments for either, but they're told to give like specific predictions, whereas we're just kind of can just talk a bit of rubbish and, you know.
Yeah. That's how I like it, Tom. No consequences. Utility on the T side, though, will execute smoke wall landing towards the A side. Will allow ships to take a duel. Thomas on the boost position, so will be able to have an idea what goes down. They don't have a smoke for the Olof angle here, which is kind of worrying because that allows Esperanto to just take this duel. They're going to flash out Emmys out of the count, but Esperanto can still hold this right duel and miss the shot, but like the round is over. I don't understand why you want to, like if you want to throw that smoke wall, you got to have something for the Olof angle as well.
Yeah, this at the moment, this is just seeming way too easy. I think we may even need another pause to come in for INTZ because they're just getting blasted out of the server. Like, we haven't even really had to see even close to the best from Crazy at the moment. Like, these are just giving them individual duels. And the worry for me is the T side of Train, I think personally, is the easiest side of any map to get stuck. Like, get bogged down.
Oh, yeah.
That and Nuke. And then you have the momentum built up for their opposition. This time, though, they're blasting right out of A main, and Cello, even while blind, is able to get a double entry. Finally, something going right for INTZ. And it's going very right. Every single kill going their way. They don't lose a single player.
And the fun thing about this is that the first smoke to come out actually misses. The first flash that comes out flashes to the T side as well as the CTs. So not the perfect entry, not the perfect execute onto the bomb side, but due to the fact that Crazy were just not ready for this speed, they get onto the bomb side, they get the opening duels, and then Shiz comes in, pulls out 2, and the round is over. So very nicely done from INTZ, not even needing a timeout to kind of change the pace of the game. Going for a risky play, yes, but it pays off.
They're doing something fairly similar once again already. Bolts is going to be the one bursting out onto the site this time. Lots of utility being expended as well. We'll see if they can get away with as much. Emmy caught off by the flash, and it's going to go down similarly to the last round. Thomas is actually going to try and get a little bit aggressive, but he has to be careful. Throws the smoke down as a defensive guard, but leaves him in the open, and even after a kill, he's going to get traded. Esperanto and Otto both in the backlines with the AWP, but I think unless something goes right for them fairly soon, they may have to give this round up. The only worry is the bomb has not moved in a long time. They're just waiting patiently.
This smoke will fade now.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be no utility left to try and block off these AWPs. This is one of the main ways that Crazy could actually win this round.
Yeah. Ship's taking a duel towards E-Box, wins that. Still so much utility left on him. Otto's holding this angle still, but the timing is going to be crucial. He has no idea. He knows that Bolts could be down there, but he hasn't confirmed it, and now he sees that the timing is good for Otto. He holds the angle. Esperanto with one. Yell 1v3.
I'm honestly so confused as to why they let those smokes fade before trying to get that bomb down. Yell will eventually get it down, but he does have an idea that Ships is going to be coming in from behind, so that could at least be one kill. Now with opportunities, because both players on the other side are with AWPs, but look how close Esperanto gets, right in the face of his opponent. And that's going to be an 8th and a break back. Luckily, INTZ win that last round so cleanly, they have plenty of money to buy back in.
And even though Crazy did fine in this round, I feel like INTZ were the masters of their own demise in this one.
Yeah.
Like, that was just not good enough reactions-wise. Like, yeah, not a lot to say about that. If someone wants to do a breakdown of the demo, they could probably explain in 17 different reasons why that did not work out. We don't have that kind of time, Tom. On to the next one.
We can get Rich to do that.
Yeah. I think Rich will do very well.
Now he's got his glasses on.
Yeah. He has +5 intelligence or IQ or whatever. He'll be fine.
And that does put him up to a total of 5.
Actually, that is scientifically not even possible. So I'm going to have to stop you there, buddy. Bolts has a big chance here.
Oh, he peeks around, but does he know Thomas is in the corner? He does not, so just an early trade for the CT side.
He's trying to go for the wallbang as well. Nice little try there, Yell. Time to copy. I don't actually remember who it was planning it. I think it was...
Was it Whippy?
The Whippy, the Russian player on KO.
Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, Mr. Whippy. Double AWP setup still on the CT side as expected, on train. And then one AUG in ships, who can play both with the SG and also the AUG.
I don't think that's anything particularly difficult.
Well,
a lot of people haven't been using it so much. Now, they spotted the man going out Ivy, but I think they've already realized that this is going to be a rotation back towards the B site. Utility being expended and actually doing some early damage. And
decent nade.
the thing is, they had the information that Zand has gone behind them, but there's nobody looking in that direction.
Oh, and he's holding this oil angle. This is perfect. So yes, he allows the plan, but with another player on top of this,
But
they can totally deny this.
Zand's behind them. This is such a problem. Like, he's going to be able to hold off one.
But there's no time.
10 seconds left. They can get the bomb down.
Oh, the bomb is on the other player. Yeah, sure. Okay, never mind then.
And Ships is now going to be looking to try and get in on the rotate. Zand hits the headshot. And yeah, it's weird. They knew that he was behind them. And now Thomas is left into a 1 versus 2. Has a rough idea of where one is. Actually gets the headshot. Should spot Zand above and almost hands it away. He does have some extra utility, but not really going to be able to do too much. Needs to get aggressive. Needs to try and bait his opponent into this peak. Does just that, but can't connect the shots. Lamar now switching over to the AWP. Even hits him through the oil train. But it's going to be Zand that ultimately wins that round for his team. I'm not sure what happened there, because Otto watches that position as he crosses. They must have relayed that information, but nobody turned around. And, well, he gets him from behind and pretty much closes things out.
I think they were so focused on getting kills in that situation. They were like, if we get enough kills, we can just shut the round down. And then they ignored his position. And it almost worked out. Like, it was just a couple of seconds the other way around and the round would have ended, but yeah, oversight from Crazy. That will allow INTZ getting on their second round. Nice little run boost. Yell winning the duel, but will they count on Esperanto being here? Now they will.
Stuck in the corner as bullets flash past, but he's going to be able to escape. Only smokes available for INTZ in any sort of execute. They're not going to be able to force any of these players out of position, and this double AWP setup has been deadly so far. Ships as well has been a problem for them. Definitely been doing a good job of sort of replacing what has been Nexa pretty much taking up every single individual site hold that they used to have. They've just become a plug and play. Just gone, Ships, you're pretty damn good. You just do that.
Yeah, that's your job now. Okay, I'll do that.
He's been quite dynamic. The problem has been elsewhere a lot of the time. Emmy has been going down early in a lot of these rounds. Luckily, he does have the talent behind him to force them back. Otto's going to be waiting, hits the shot. Has to be careful for the repeat, but Thomas keeps the trades even at least. And Esperanto with the AWP gives them the man advantage. Peeks into Yell and even hits the shot. I'm surprised he gets that one. Leaves Zand alone again to try and fight things back. Isn't going to be able to do it.
Yeah, every single time that INTZ get around, Crazy just bounced straight back.
Yeah, and there's only been 2.
And it's so hard confidence-wise because you feel like, okay, now, we get a chance to build some momentum, slap in the face. Back to square one.
Yeah, luckily, they do have a little bit of extra money, so Yell is going to be able to invest into a hero SG. The problem is on their side, there really hasn't been much heroics at all. There's been bolts once or twice, able to do some damage.
And then if they want an AWP for the next 5 rounds, Sand has to go without utility, or bolts, or Shiz has to buy it and go without utility either. So it's going to be a tough buy this next one. We might see 5 creeks. Amy's just calling out activity on Ivy. That's all they've seen so far.
The thing is, I don't mind this investment at all, though, from him, just because...
Okay, it's fine.
Well, no, it's more so their money on the other side. Like, Crazy, considering that they're 9-2 up, don't actually have that much cash. If he can drop 2-3 players, then you go into the next round, you win, and you have a decent chance of actually, like, getting back to a 9 or 10-5 or something like that. That's not a bad situation going into the CT side of Train.
As I said on the other map, in the other broadcast, like, it doesn't actually really matter what kind of money is on your side as long as you have a decent buy. What matters more is, like, how much damage can you do to your opponent. And this is a a big chance, money-wise, to do some damage onto CR4ZY because, as you say, they don't have that much cash. And Emmy will take the first duel. This one he'll win.
He dropped the Krieg as well. That was the one player with armor. Already hits the deck. Esperanto actually missing a few shots, giving some opportunities for them to at least grab some space on the map. Full rotation already in from the CT side, however, so winning this round is going to be very difficult. They're doing a decent job of it. A lot of damage now already. Emmy's going to go down to the Deeg. This should be an impossible round, but they're making it possible. The problem is the time. Otto left. They're going to go for the bomb plant. He drops the second player who peeks him and is left into the 1 versus 1. On Bolt. Bolt hits the headshot, and INTZ win a round from absolutely nothing, and more importantly, absolutely obliterate the CR4ZY economy.
It's kind of hard when you have 2 ops who have 2 open shots and they miss both of them. Like, that's that kind of stuff for the players of the caliber of CR4ZY. That'll happen 1 in 10 times. And it happens on the same round for both ops. If just one of them missed and the other one hit the shot, the round.
I think that was SP both times, because Otto had a.
Otto also
M4.
had one. Also.
No, because he was at the end with the M4, right?
But he also had one earlier. Someone else had one.
Oh, okay.
But SP also missed.
Yeah, he missed
1 or
2
2
in a row.
That was not good.
Which is unusual, but.
Exactly, like 1 out of 10, but it combines in 1 round, and that's the problem. Thomas. Still defensive, together with Emmy. Are they pushing now? Yeah. Sand is coming in. We'll get 1.
Yeah, this is a full investment as well, so this would be a big deal if CR4ZY are able to continue their trend. Breaking rounds back. Yell.
It's going to be rough now. Because they're just parking. They're just freezing the round. INTZ trying to get frags, and that's the correct way to go about it. Esperanto will get 1, but surely not the round. Very nicely done. Also good mid-round calling there from INTZ. They know they have the advantage. They have like 50% of the outside control. They have the better duels. So just pull a freeze in around and just say, hold your positions, take some duels, you have the advantage, and just win the round from that. Don't take any chances.
Well, now they have a very good chance actually of getting to a 9-6. At least 5 rounds is pretty much guaranteed.
That's very nice for a T side.
And considering how things were going, they've managed to steal the last few. Like, what was the initial scoreline? Was 7-0 in favor of CR4ZY. So they have slowed down over the last few. Okay, Esperanto just steps up with 2-1 Deegs. What? And a third as well. He's given his team a real chance in what is a no-show round. He's exploded into the server and left Yell and Zan just wondering what on earth just happened to their teammate. Ships retrieve and SG as well. And now Zan left versus unarmored players. This should never have been possible. At the same time, he may be able to turn it back, but no. Esperanto, 3-1 Deegs. That's what that man can do at any moment.
That's such a confidence-destroying play. Esperanto's so ice-cold right now. Let's see that on replay.
You say right now, like
3.
You ever zoom in on his face? I think he smiled like once in his life.
Yeah, that's actually true.
And it was probably when he bought his car.
Slight smog. Yell actually will get out towards Olaf.
Ooh, okay.
Taking the duel. Very nicely done. On that hero op. Hero op and hero Krieg right now on the T side.
He just legged Emmy as well. They're doing a lot of damage.
Thomas's position here is going to be crucial though. He knows there's an op at Olaf, but he also knows that that's probably not going to be the guy watching it. Perfect play.
They managed to remove all the weaponry as well. Ships and Otto going to combine to close things out. And they actually end up with the 11-4. Again, only twice did we see like the streak come in. Either way, going onto the CT side, INTZ, they got a job to do. We'll be back after the break. well, a fairly dominant half in the end. 11-4 scoreline for CR4ZY, but it felt like a 9-6. It looked like a 9-6, and then somehow they went around with 1 Deagle and a few USPs. It just doesn't make any sense. But now going forward, we see this CT side for INTZ, a chance for them to redeem themselves. And HE ready and waiting, actually going to be thrown out, does a lot of damage, and actually Bolt is going to be the one to get the opening pick. However, the trade's still coming back. Bomb making its way onto the site, so at least some Krieg's guaranteed for the next round. However, the pistol may still be possible.
Ooh, nice shot there for Shiz. Otto and Ships remaining. Cello, great position. He's almost aware of it, but the timing will prove great for Ships. He's behind 2 players right now. We'll pick up both.
Yeah, Yell doesn't have the kit. He's just going to finish him as well. Fantastic round from Ships, and this has been the story for CR4ZY in this matchup so far. Ships has been killing it. Esperanto's had some moments as well. And when these 2 players pop off, there really isn't too much you can do about it. No. And the thing is it's not like someone like Otto or anyone is slacking. He was, I think, 13 and 6 in the first half. Like, it's just the fact that these 2 players just win ridiculous rounds.
Yeah.
Wow,
sometimes it feels like, kind of feels like it's not fair. To some extent, like they're up against an eco, they have 1 Deagle and some USPs, and then all of a sudden, like Esperanto gets a 3-piece. Like, how does that even happen?
Magic. But it's that, I think the deeks he got on train during the major, where he like 180 headshot. That's still one of my favorite clips ever.
That just doesn't make sense to me. Like how that's possible. That's some superhuman stuff. Like I don't even know.
CT side. Gone for the investment here. I believe Yell's been dropped over a scout just to basically enable him to get that AW later.
Trade. 1 player buys armor. Scout.
Okay.
Yes. He can do something with it. Picks up the.
Yeah, that's the worst weapon.
Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, he's still standing, but Esperanto going to get the timing. Along with Otto, actually, he was wrapping around. And on the CT side, they've lost a lot of control, but at the same time, with that scout still in play, the whack-a-mole, the reverse whack-a-mole, almost coming. Oh, they're getting so unlucky with the timings.
Yeah, this has really not been a good round for them timing-wise, but okay. 3v2, this can happen, Tom.
Yeah, the problem is the time. They don't have much on the clock. They don't have a kit available to them, so they really need to get these kills and fast. And unfortunately, with Emmy holding down the backlines, it's left onto Bolt. And again, it comes close, but that seems to be the story of this match for INTZ. CR4ZY have just been, well, fantastic in those late round scenarios.
Neil giving a few words of advice here. Oh, I don't know how he does it, but every single event he's coaching at, it seems like he picks up more like cables. He's always like has like 6 cables. I don't know if he's charging his phone and like having a landline in there as well. Like I don't know what he has in there.
And some people use weights to work out.
Yeah.
The LM uses cables.
Yeah.
If you have enough cable, he's gonna be ripped in no time.
I don't really think you need a lot of cables for that. It's a very heavy one.
Well, this round at least, just a small investment, some pistols and a chance to really farm up the cash for Thomas, and just about gets 1 kill. Pays for his pistol, but can't really expect too much else. Bomb.
Yeah, this next round is a must-win round for INTZ. Like they have to win it. If they lose that, the match is over. Like there's just no way. So yes, of course, Sam is trying to get something done here, but the focus is on this upcoming round. This is where they need to like make their final stand. And I don't know how many timeouts they have left. If they have if they have 3 or 4, they probably only have 3 if that's the scenario. I want them to take 1 now just to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
I think INTZ have 2.
Okay. Then
I think they've used a couple earlier in the match. When they were losing,
I still believe like when you're 4-14 down, you should probably use 1 now, but let's see if they win it.
Well, I guess when you go into the CT side as well, you haven't really just tested if your default works, so maybe like coming up with something specific isn't something they feel is needed, but already just an early kill.
Yeah,
can't
to
really
be honest,
do
like,
too
what
much
can you do?
about.
What can you do against that? Get shot through the smoke, like, okay.
Yell is going to be waiting with the AWPs, hoping to find a quick counter. He hits the shot, but just has to use his utility. Nade comes out and almost returns the same.
They have control towards team main now, but Esperanto has made his way all the way down towards Pop Dog. Yell 1 for 1. Bolts on the side, bombs drop. Bolts another one. Not a 3-piece.
They're so close, and both remaining players are so low as well. Cello just doubles up at the end, and that will be a 5th round onto the board, at least something to kickstart the engines of INTZ.
Very nice from Bolts and Cello there. Bolts doubles up, holds the angle correctly, could even get 3. And then Cello with the correct timing, correct position as well. Very nicely done.
I think even if you just look at the scoreboard though, like the 4th player on the board at the moment is Thomas for Crazy. And he is 4th in the whole server. Like next on the board is Yell. Like it just shows how well like each of these players are fracking. Okay, Cello.
That's nice.
He's looking to try and change that.
He can grab the AK and the other smoke as well. So he still has full utility.
Managing to get the early man advantage in this round at least, which definitely going to be important. I do still worry for them with Ship still standing though. It's been phenomenal.
He has an SG as well.
I think he's 23-9 at the moment. 118, or no, actually close to 120 at the end of the last round.
That is insane. Like, that is...
And Otto's also over 100, and Esperanto's almost over 100, so...
Yeah, what can you do? Like...
There's sort of the triangle of doom if you face off against Crazy. If those 3 players are all popping off, you are in a lot of trouble.
The Bermuda Triangle of Counter-Strike.
Very difficult to get through, some would say.
Yeah.
But here we go. T-side, 40 seconds left. They're waiting patiently to see if anybody's going to give them the angle, but the CT side, they've just sat patiently. They can't really flash themselves in. They've got very limited utility left. Yell is going to spot the peak, but it's actually Otto to do a lot of damage. However, doesn't get the kill. And again, it seems like when they do step up, they do it flawlessly.
Yeah.
Like that's happened a couple of times now. The question is, can they keep that up? Because that's been the main problem for them so far.
They'll have to. Like, there's no other way around it. Unless they want to go down in the lower part of this tournament and play in the decided games tomorrow. They'll have to step up. This one will be rather easy, as it's basically a full eco, not even a Desert Eagle for Esperanto. Even though he was on 1900, he still goes for the P250. Get something done. CT side has 3 creeks. Couldn't really ask for a better setup.
Oh, the bomb almost makes it across. Bolts has to be there to land that killing blow. You can't really expect anything here for the remaining players from Crazy. It's going to be a flawless round coming out. And even going into the next, as you mentioned, like, it's going to be fairly limited utility coming out from that T side. And it's very easy, as said. Like, you can start to struggle when it comes to the T side of Train. Like, I think a lot of teams run out of ideas very quickly. Smoke executions, even still, a lot of the time, if counter utility's good, or even just some shots through like the major choke points, can easily get the CT side opening picks.
Yep.
If Yell starts to perform with the AWP, I think that there's definite possibilities that the Brazilians could start to grind this back. And that has been something in the past that even the previous iteration of Crazy really struggled with. Like, I still remember DreamHack Summer. I think they were looking to try and, it was either get into playoffs or the final. They were sat there winning 14-7 on Inferno and lost.
Yeah.
That was versus Ancient.
They're not the only team who has that problem.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's plenty of teams that have that problem.
It's very common. And only the best teams in the world can kind of get like over that hump, but even those teams sometimes fail. Astral is a good example.
Well, I still remember the Fnatic saying that the reason they used to take a pause was not even to really do anything, it's just because they knew once they did, they'd win. Because they were just in the minds of their opponents' heads, because they were so good at coming back at that point.
Yeah.
So they would just sit there laughing Just knowing that it was coming.
That's confidence.
Yeah, the Pronex God pause.
Thomas taking a slight bit of damage, but still nothing that changes around the CT side with 1 minute left, Tom. No smokes. One Molotov.
Yeah, the thing is though, like you look at their side of things, and I know it's going to sound silly, but if you have those Kriegs, utility almost seems to be a detriment because you might be caught with a nade in hand.
Yeah, that's true. I get what you mean.
Whereas you could just hold the angles like this. It's a terrible observation, but it just shows how rubbish that weapon is, that you should just be sitting there on these angles. Challo, though, he loses that opening duel. It's only 30 seconds left, and Yell's going to be flashed off, and that gives Ships another entry. It gives them that two-man advantage. They've still got to get onto the site. Zand is going to be able to pick off one. They haven't actually spotted Shiz in this corner. He's going to drop the bomb, and actually gets the second as well. Only 15 seconds left, and now a man down. This is looking bleak for the side of CR4ZY, and the Brazilians will turn it once again.
That's unfortunate that they don't clear the hell angle. I think they kind of felt like we've gotten so many kills outside. We heard steps towards the back line. One of our players just died to the backline CT rotation. Surely there cannot be another player on this side. Let's just get the bomb down. And then, of course, the second you think that, a player is always in that corner. The Eagles now for the T side, as INTZ are trying to bounce back into the game. Definitely have the money going for them. Sand 62, Shiz 78. Lots of money on that side. It's even money for a T side op if they want it in this next round. CR4ZY, but for now it's just going to be pistols. Not the best of chances.
He says.
Surely. Esperanto's not going to get like crazy kills here.
Oh, he said it. He said crazy in a sentence.
He's done it now.
And T's just taking their time. Again, there's not a whole lot of utility.
You can also use this as kind of like a half pause, like this kind of round. When you're on the T side, you kind of control the pace. And maybe even bait some utility out, as they have done. Just one Molotov left, so mission accomplished for the T side, even though they're probably not going to get the round. They're making the CT spend a lot of money on utility. Maybe they can even get a couple of frags.
Well, there's been a big step up from Shiz over the last few. Nice shot from Esperanto, but not a lot of time, and Yell is going to be ready and waiting to make sure he doesn't get up to any more mischief. But it has been a decent streak now. 5 rounds in a row for the CT side. They built up a decent amount of cash. So even if there is a victory on the board for CR4ZY, they'll still have to grind out that final round. And I could definitely see this swinging the other way. But this is the first proper fall by we've seen. Full utility, AWP as well onto Otto.
Exactly.
This is their chance to really get into this T half.
Thomas and Ships both with SGs as well as Esperanto, of course, with the AK. His best weapon. How do they approach this? What's the play for the T side? They know so far that the CTs, like, they like to spend their utility early on, so just waiting out the clock is the correct move for them, which is what they're doing right now. Just baiting out more utility. Still 4 smokes remaining on the T side, while only 2 smokes remaining on the T side with 1 Molotov with 1 minute 10 to go. That's a big advantage for the T side, but Yell pulls down the angle.
Yeah, you can see INTZ also starting to gain in confidence as well. They've had more aggressive peaks over the last few rounds. Yell is going to be tagged.
Shit, but they have no idea. The smoke was down, they have no idea.
He's got so far around. I wonder if they'll actually double this back into a B play, especially if he can get some kills along the way. Timing. I wonder if he's going to be looking for a second player. Oh, he's not.
You can't do
Surely
that. You
not.
can't do that.
Surely not. Just kill him. Just finish him off. There we go. That's the kill he needed. There is a second player on the site that we have to be careful of. And now that position's null and void, but they find the kill with Esperanto. The rotation has come in.
That's actually very fortunate that Yell doesn't get that frag.
Oh, and SP's found another look for more. Another triple kill coming in for him. And leaves just Yell remaining. There's nothing they can do. It's Espy to step up and win the round, but the positioning of ships kicks things off.
And that's exactly why you give Esperanto an AK and not an SG.
Yeah.
Because he would not have been able to pull off that play with an SG. It would have looked way different. And it would require
makes you happy, doesn't it?
yeah.
The purist in you is very
It
happy
is
with this
like
sort of
just
clip.
look at his aim in this situation. His aim, the spray control. This is like peak level Counter-Strike.
Scream would even be proud of that one.
Yeah, that was just perfect. I love that. 15 for CR4ZY. 1 round away from joining Heroic as the 2 teams going straight to the semifinals of this DreamHack Open Atlanta.
And especially for them, having a day off when we literally heard that Thomas was being told on the spot like what some of these positions were, a day off for them would be wonderful. Give them a chance to go through the demos, maybe try and fit him into the team a little bit better and have more of a chance of making it at least to that grand final. Of course, the job's not done yet. As mentioned, the money was there previously for INTZ. More limitations come in, and Ships has seemingly found the hole in their defense. Looking to try and wrap around catches Shiz, who's been a bit of a problem for them, but even still, it's a lot of trade in damage. It's whether or not they can utilize the space, and Cello's gonna get burnt alive.
I don't understand how Yell got that frag onto Ships. He was holding the angle towards the CT rotation, and the USP wins the duel against the like posted up Krieg, and now Yell with a chance, and somehow they make this work. I don't understand it. Like, I honestly don't. Like, Ships is holding the angle. We don't see it because we're spectating another player. Holding the CT angle down with a Krieg, and the USP wins the duel. Like, it is only if Ships is caught on the like second he rotates away. Here we go.
Okay.
What's that? That's just stupid.
Well, once again, money not in the best of states for either side. In fact, we see a couple of SMGs come into play. Thomas taking the hit.
Oh, the quick
and it's just
play.
going to be a fast play towards his B-side, but there's 2 players here already. Zan goes for the aggressive peek on the back of the AWP, and he is going to be able to escape as well. Any plan that was there has gone out the window, and Cello just wrapping him from behind. Does so much off the back of the MP9. Finally, he'll be put down, but it might be too little too late. Ships not going to be able to get the kill. Yell just being that pistol master at the moment.
Ships has to be so angry. He's lost 2 duels, 2 rounds in a row to pistols.
Yell's even going to get that final kill through the smoke. A few players now starting to rise to the occasion. Well, we now sit with only a few rounds being the difference here, and money not going to be really possible or plausible for the T side.
We're actually gonna see a hero SG from Ships here. He's just angry now. Like, he wants to end this. Goes straight out Olaf. Olaf actually coming in and putting down the Molotov, but he's gonna run through it. Goes down to 60 HP, super flashed. And yeah, his emotions might have gotten the better of him there. Just going for the straight out rush play, but doesn't work out. The rest of the round, of course, is an eco. So.
Oh, very close to Cello running out of ammo. Esperanto. Core's always going to be able to get one.
Just one.
Like, it's expected. Oh my god, he smiled.
He's like, did you see I got another deagle fan? Did you see? These guys under a lot of pressure though. INTZ have to get back and fight, and they have had to fight for a long time now.
But that's been the thing throughout the day, really. Like, teams getting a big advantage, and then it's slipping back and back and back.
Oh. Now Neil.
I love how he pushed that even closer to his mouth. I think for the microphone to be any closer, he'd have to be eating it.
I think Neil is so passionate, he would probably eat the mic. If it, like, if it gave his team a better chance of winning the game, he would eat the whole headset.
Dear Lord.
No, he would. Like, I'm not even... He would probably be sick for like a day or 2, but he would eat the headset. I have no doubt.
And he wouldn't back out, you know, like someone who said they'd eat a boot.
I'm gonna comment on that. Well, I'm gonna defend him here and say he did eat a boot. It was just made out of chocolate.
Well, that doesn't count.
Sometimes, Tom, you'll learn that to focus on
I
others.
Just stop the rubbish quote, whatever you're about to say. Some cliche, a load of rubbish. Let's just move
I had
on.
a whole thing lined up.
Here we go. Shiz is getting aggressive, and he finds Ships again. The last few rounds, he has been caught out the rest of the team going to be looking to barrel in towards this B site.
But this is such a common play. You even see the rotation of, I think that GL coming in now as well. He actually has the potential of rotating in if Sam spots something, and he will. So there are going to be 3 CT players around this bomb site, 1 close and 2 far away. So this is such a telegraph move. It might even be a fake. It should be a fake because it's so obvious.
I think the counter smoke actually just slowed them down so much they've decided to rotate. But again, 50 seconds left. A solo flashbang is all that's there for INTZ. They've used a lot of their utility. CR4ZY still a man down, and an important man at that. Their current top fragger in the server dead.
That has to be the only critique that we can give INTZ in these last 8 rounds, is that they go so down, early down on their utility. But it hasn't really struggled for them yet. It hasn't been a big problem yet. 22 seconds as the execute starts.
Nash does get caught out. It's going to be an entry, but Cello there with the response. Esperanto just about survives. He's the man with the bomb as well, so important that he doesn't go down. Thomas spraying, holding them into the connector. The wraparound still coming in from Yell. And the bomb is going to be planted back into this 3v3 situation. However, a couple of players low. It doesn't seem to matter. SP's going to get another. His 28th frag. And even knows that Zand is around this corner. Both players left with AWPs. And once again, it's Esperanto with a quad kill. Looking for the ace to try and close this out. The AWP can't do anything. The last 2 rounds that are won for the mixed side, the European side, are won by Esperanto. 4 kills and 5 kills.
It should be illegal to be that good at Counter-Strike. That was a sick round from Esperanto. That was some next level stuff.
I think he hit his 30 bomb off that as well.
Yeah.
That's madness.
That was so mad.
So he literally gets an ace in the last round, and then, the round before he gets a quad kill. So just manages to get them through that T side in the end. And that's what it came down to in the end. They had to just try and grind their way through it. Luckily, they had the star power to do it in the end, but it was worrying just watching INTZ slowly grind that back further and further into their control.
But they did it. And that's what matters. And now the favorites, the
they
2
got
favorites.
A day off?
They're in the playoffs, yeah. And probably, if you went into this tournament before it all started, people wanted to, point out what could the final be. Most people would be saying, CR4ZY versus Heroic, the rematch.
Well, either way, that is enough from us. That is us out for today. But you do have to listen to Rich and his wonderful +5 IQ glasses. I don't know. Oh, they're gone.
They are gone. And it's actually. It's get to listen to this beautiful desk. Hi, my name's Rich. I'm joined by Potter, and I'm joined by Pimp. Let's actually talk about everything that did happen. And one of the things that the casters actually were saying is the idea of, we kind of expected a certain grand final to come out of the entirety of this tournament. And so far, it seems like we might be paving that road.
Yeah, surely. I think CR4ZY, they played well this time around. It was much better than first time they played. Esperanto, right? We talked about him. We saw it here showcasing in the end of the game, getting 9 kills the last 2 rounds, and he was just so good. He's so good and so skilled. May not be the smartest player at all times. May sometimes be a little bit too over-aggressive, but when he has one of those games where he just goes off and he has the aim he was showcasing right here, there's no doubt why we consider him to be one of the biggest talents that we have had within European Counter-Strike.
Oh, what do you want to see from CR4ZY moving forward, too, as they actually do progress to these final days?
I want to continue seeing ships hit the fan and Esperanto showing up. Sure. As Jacob mentioned, it was beautiful to watch, and Esperanto is just his aim precision. Not many players can do it, just the snappy, quick headshot percentage. It's so impressive to see, and I gotta say, I really appreciated CR4ZY's approach towards that Ivy. They put so much pressure onto INTZ. They didn't know what to do. We saw time and time again ships making it towards that CT spawn, throwing the smoke out. There wasn't a lot of answers coming out of INTZ's side, so I think they're gonna have to relook at this train, relook towards that Ivy, and figure out exactly how they want to approach it.
And that's the other side of the coin, right? Because as well as CR4ZY did play here, I think INTZ was a little bit lackluster. I had high hopes after watching that first game. It seemed like they were really here to play, especially on Mirage. Bolt showed up and all the other players showed up, Cello for that matter. This game though, it was a little bit lackluster. It fell a little bit flat.
It kind of feels like the tables really turned from what we saw from both of these teams in their previous series, and really entering this one, our minds have been made, and luckily we get to actually talk to Neil about what is happening with the squad. Do you feel like you guys are starting to really gel now?
Yeah, we played a lot better. We prepared very well. We knew it was either going to be Mirage or Train against INTZ. We've kind of got the same map pool, so definitely preparation-wise, we were a lot better. Thomas was a lot more comfortable basically on our CT side, as we had very good reads on them, on their T sides. So yeah, basically as a team, we played a lot better on CT side.
Let's talk a little bit about Esperanto, right? Because when Nexa and Honda was on the lineup, it was not always beautiful from Esperanto. We all know how good he is. Do you think he's more free now with this iteration of the lineup?
Yes, definitely. That was one of the main reasons why they wanted me in as coach, because I can get the best out of SP, in my opinion, and make him more comfortable in himself. Because from my understanding, his like focus and like concentration, etc., was like a bit low when Hunter and Nexa, because obviously they were the stars, and it was hard for him to fit in with more structured style compared to when we were in Imperial. We had the more like free, loose kind of style. So yeah, coming in now with this version of a team, yeah, he's basically been a star and been unbelievable in the 2 games so far.
Sure.
Neo, congratulations on being able to have tomorrow off. Now, I know you mentioned that you guys haven't been able to get back into the server and figure things out with Thomas. How are you going to spend the day off tomorrow?
Yeah, this is a very important win for us. So tomorrow we've got all day to bring Thomas in. I think even in this game, he was really comfortable in this game. Like I said, we had a few hours just to dry run stuff, make sure he knows exactly what role, spokes, flashes, etc. we're doing into the round on train. I mean, I know it was a little bit like close a little bit on our T sides when we were getting the picks, but you could see from our like start of the rounds we had better ideas compared to against Chaos, where it was a bit hectic and not structured enough, basically.
So do you think a day is all you guys need to prepare for some of the toughest competition that is here, namely in Heroic?
Well, luckily we won't be facing Heroic in the semi-final, so I feel like it'll be either Sprout or Luminar. In my opinion, it'll probably be a Luminar. So yeah, I think, like I said, winning this game was really important for us to have that day off tomorrow and just get ourselves like better with Thomas tomorrow, and coming into that semi-final we're feeling really confident because we're not going to be facing the other favourites in our eyes, which is Heroic.
Well, congratulations with that win, and enjoy your day off. As we can tell, it's not really going to be as much of a day off as a day to actually train. We'll be checking in with you on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Now let's actually try to unpack all of that. That's a tall order, though. 1 day to be able to actually get all the kinks out of the system.
It's impossible. It's simply impossible, but obviously it can get better. And I think the big problem for them is that it's relatively easy to put Thomas into a best-of-1 scenario. He said it himself. We knew it was going to be either Mirage or Train coming into this matchup. When they play Sunday, it's going to be a best-of-3 scenario, and they would have to be prepared for 4, potentially even 5 maps going into the veto. So that's going to be tough for him. That's going to be tough for the team, and it's going to be a impactful thing for them to basically navigate around. I do feel that Thomas is a guy up for the task. He's a guy that has been playing stand-in for other teams as well, so they got a good guy to fill out the role, but it's going to be incredible to have them to be fully prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I've come back to this multiple times, but it definitely does seem like they got the right guy for the role. Even when we did talk to some of the analysts, some of the casters before the tournament even got started, some of them thought it might have been an upgrade for this tournament just based off of the potential that he does have. But now it's time to look at some of the best plays that we actually did see today. Best of ones now in the rear view mirror. We're going to actually get to see some of those top moments here on your screen as we jump on in.
And number 5 is Esperanto with the Deagle. We talked about how good he is, and look at this. 3 kills with the Deagle, 2 of them being instant headshot, third one moving around and making sure that he gets the 4th.
And with play number 4, we've got Infinite coming in here. This was such a pivotal moment for Chaos. I know they didn't win this match, but he gets a 3K, a 1 versus 3 post-plant scenario, gets those quick kills with that M4A4, and he makes it look easy.
Get some more action with the pistol. This time around, it's Sand with the Glock, and he made sure they won this pistol round. That was a very nice performance from INTZ. It gave us hope that they could put it up to the test against Chaos.
Definitely so, and here's Cam. This was such a nice play with that MP9. He actually ends up getting the ace in this round, picking up that SG to finish off those last 2 kills in that IV.
And it's only fitting to finish off with some Deagle Reels, making sure that he wins a very important round here against INTZ, keeping him inside the game. Sorry, that was against Sprout. But again, the Deagle today has been hot for a lot of the players.
Definitely so, and I believe he aced in that round as well, right, Jacob?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic day. None of it would have been possible, though, if it wasn't for our sponsors. Do want to take a moment right now to give a thanks to all of our sponsors. Thank you very much to Chipotle, Corsair, Monster Energy, Nice Cactus, and AT&T. Now we have that big we get a rest tonight, but when we get back tomorrow, no more best of ones. We're going to be diving into the best of 3s, and it's going to be very, very exciting. I do want to ask you guys just closing thoughts right now. Is the tournament shaping up the way that you thought it was going to based off of what we've seen so far?
I would say so. Heroic going into the semifinal. Crazy going into the semifinal. Even though they have different paths, I think Crazy was a little bit more shaky in that sense. Heroic turned up, played out as the favorite. So I think so far so good. I'm looking forward to see tomorrow. I think Chaos is going to be an interesting team to follow in those best of threes.
Definitely so. I gotta agree. I have to say though, I hope tomorrow we see a little bit more conviction coming out of these teams. Today we saw some teams struggling to close out these rounds, struggling to close out the matches that they absolutely had the advantages in. So tomorrow I'm hoping the teams come in a little bit more refreshed, a little bit more anxious to get into these matches.
Be clinical.
Yes.
Come with the land legs tomorrow. You got the warm-up day today. Tomorrow, you're not going to have any wiggle room at all, folks. We want to see you there. Be sure to tune in. We kick off at 9:45 in the morning Eastern Time. We'll see you there. Thank you.